Perform a simple, physical experiment with me. Raise your hand before your eyes. Observe the intricate machinery of it, the tendons, the skin, the delicate map of lines on your palm. Now, slowly, deliberately, close your fingers. Begin to squeeze. Form a fist. Do not just close it or tighten it. Squeeze until the knuckles turn the color of ivory. Squeeze until the tension travels like an electric current up your forearm, locking the elbow, stiffening the bicep, tightening the shoulder, and finally constricting the breath in your chest. Hold it there. Feel the vibration of effort. Feel the tremendous amount of energy required simply to maintain this state of contraction. Feel how the blood flow is restricted, how the hand becomes numb, cut off from the circulation of the body. This clenched fist is not merely a physical posture. It is the perfect, terrifying metaphor for the human condition. This is how we live. We navigate our entire existence physically, emotionally, and spiritually in a state of chronic contraction. We are desperate architects, attempting to construct permanent citadels upon a foundation of shifting dunes. We believe that if we just squeeze hard enough, if we just grip the steering wheel of life tightly enough, we can stop the car from crashing. We can stop the people we love from leaving. We can stop time from aging us. We spend decades curating a personal museum of existence. We move through the world like frantic collectors, gathering items to place on the shelves of the ego. We catalog our possessions, the house that shelters us, the fabric that drapes our bodies, the digital numbers in a bank account that whisper promises of safety. But the grasping goes far deeper than the material realm. The true addiction is not to objects, but to the invisible. We hoard memories like old photographs, fading in the harsh sunlight, terrified that if we forget a single detail, the past will cease to have happened. We cling to our opinions as if they were gold bullion, defending them with a ferocity that destroys friendships. Believing that being right is the same as being safe. We cling to a specific version of our identity, the smart one, the victim, the successful one, terrified that if we loosen our grip, the person we think we are will dissolve into mist, leaving nothing behind but silence. But let us pause in the center of this storm and ask the dangerous question. The question that sits at the very center of the labyrinth of the soul. What if this entire architecture of ownership is a hallucination? What if the very idea that you can possess something, anything, is the root of all human anxiety? What if nothing, not even the breath currently filling your lungs, truly belongs to you? Consider the vessel you inhabit at this very moment, your body. You speak of it as mine. You say, my hand, my heart, my face, as if it were a vehicle you purchased from a lot, holding the title deed in your pocket. But let us examine the validity of this claim. Did you design the blueprints for this biological miracle? Did you sit down and calculate the intricate geometry of your dirna? Did you choose the color of your eyes before you were born? Did you decide the exact hour your heart would begin to beat in the sanctuary of the womb, or the precise moment it will eventually stop? No. You are a passenger in this vehicle, not the engineer. You are a guest in the house of biology. Observe the body closely. Despite your best efforts, despite the gym memberships, the kale salads, the creams, and the medicines, the body obeys a different law. It bows to the law of entropy. It bows to the law of impermanence. It ages without your permission. It ages without your consent. It changes shape, texture, and capability regardless of your vanity. If this body were truly your property, surely it would obey your command to remain eternally young, vibrant, and indestructible. You would command the cells to stop dividing, and they would listen. But they do not listen to you. They listen to the rhythm of nature. They rise and fall like a wave in the ocean, indifferent to your desire for permanence. The truth is stark, yet strangely liberating. No part of this biological experience is truly ours. We are merely borrowing the elements earth, water, fire, air for a brief flicker of cosmic time. We borrow calcium from the rocks for our bones, water from the rain for our blood, oxygen from the trees for our breath. And when the lease is up, every single atom must be returned to the cosmic inventory to be used for something else: a flower, a star, a grain of dirt. And if the body is a rented house, surely the mind is the tenant we can control. Surely, inside the fortress of our own skull, we are the king. Let us test this hypothesis with a simple challenge. Try for just 10 seconds to command your mind to be utterly silent. No thoughts, no images, no inner dialogue, just pure empty awareness. Begin now. You failed, we all do. In that brief silence, did you notice what happened? Thoughts intruded like uninvited guests, crashing a private dinner party. They jumped from the past to the future, from anxiety to desire, from a fragment of a song to a memory of a childhood embarrassment. Did you invite these thoughts? Did you sign a permission slip for them to enter your consciousness? No. They arose from the void and vanished back into it, driven by conditions you do not control. If you cannot even predict your next thought, how can you claim to own the mind that produces it? The mind is a river, and you are standing on the bank. You can watch the water flow, but you cannot stop it, and you certainly do not own the water. Yet, despite this obvious lack of control, we cling. The human mind is wired to latch onto things, believing that the tightness of our grip equates to the safety of our soul. We act as if holding on to people, to status, to the past will freeze time. But this is the great paradox of existence. The more you grip, the more fragile everything becomes. Think of a relationship where one partner clings possessively. They check phones, they demand reassurance, they suffocate the other with a terrified, grasping love. They are like a person trying to hold water in a clenched fist. The tighter they squeeze, the faster the water escapes through the cracks between the fingers. Possessiveness does not secure the relationship, it shatters it. Achievements lose their luster the moment we become terrified of losing our status. Even simple, inanimate objects, a watch, a phone, a notebook, can become sources of profound suffering if we believe they define our worth. This is not just philosophy, this is biology. When we feel ownership, the brain's primitive centers light up. We are flooded with dopamine, the chemical of reward and seeking. We are biologically programmed to hoard, to gather, to secure against the coming winter. This is why losing a cheap pen you've used for 3 months can feel disproportionately frustrating. It isn't the plastic and ink you mourn. It is the violation of the ego's territory. The mind screams, "This was mine!" A part of me has been taken. We have extended our nervous system into our stuff, so when our car is scratched, we feel our own skin tearing. There is an ancient story, whispered in the dusty halls of history, about a powerful king who stood on the balcony of his golden palace at sunset. He swept his arm across the horizon, encompassing the fertile valleys, the bustling cities, and the distant mountains turning purple in the twilight. He turned to his advisor, a sage of deep silence, and declared, "Everything the light touches is mine. I possess it all. I have conquered the world." The sage said nothing. He simply bent down and scooped up a single grain of sand from the garden path. He held it up to the king's face and asked, "Your Majesty, when your breath ceases and you cross the great threshold into the mystery of death, can you take even this single grain of sand with you?" The king fell silent. The illusion shattered. In that moment, he saw the terrifying truth. We are naked when we arrive, and we are naked when we leave. We are simply custodians of things that will outlast us. We are the caretakers of the dust. But the mind, in its fear, refuses to accept this. It operates like a monkey in a hunter's trap. You know the mechanism. In the jungles of the East, a hunter takes a heavy coconut shell or a jar with a narrow neck. He stakes it to the ground and places a sweet, fragrant nut inside. The monkey smells the prize. It reaches in, its hand open and flat, slipping easily through the neck of the jar. It grabs the nut. But now, its hand is made into a fist, and the fist, holding the prize, is too large to pull back through the narrow opening. The monkey is trapped. But here is the tragedy: the jar is not holding the monkey. The hunter is not holding the monkey. The monkey is holding the monkey. All it has to do to be free is open its hand. All it has to do is let go of the nut. But it cannot. It values the prize more than its freedom, and in doing so, it loses both. We are that monkey. The jar is our life. The nut represents our attachments, our need to be right, our need to be admired, our resentment toward those who hurt us, our obsession with how things should be. We are trapped not by the world, but by our refusal to open our hands. We believe that letting go means losing something vital. We mistake attachment for love and clinging for security. We tell ourselves, if I stop worrying, everything will fall apart. If I stop controlling my child, they will fail. If I stop replaying this regret, I will lose the lesson. But the opposite is true. The tighter we cling, the more we suffer, and the less effective we become. This constant grasping is a state of low-grade fever in the soul. It is the background hum of anxiety that defines modern life. True power, true calm, does not lie in a tighter grip. It lies in the courage to unclench. Let us examine the price of holding on. We think ownership buys us security, but in reality, it buys us fear. The moment you believe you own something, you invite the fear of losing it into your bed. You cannot have the possession without the paranoia. Imagine a man who buys a rare, priceless porcelain vase from the Ming dynasty. For the first hour, he is filled with pride. He places it on the mantle. But soon the vase becomes a dictator. He worries about the humidity in the room. He forbids his children from running near it. He wakes up at night terrified of an earthquake or a thief. He refuses to go on vacation because he cannot leave the vase unguarded. He has not acquired a vase, the vase has acquired a servant. What was meant to bring joy has become a source of chronic tension. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus walked through the marketplaces of Rome and saw this slavery clearly. He taught that there are two categories in life: things within our control and things beyond it. Your character, your judgments, Your reactions, these are yours. These are the internal garden you tend. But your reputation, your wealth, the health of your body, the actions of others, these are dust in the wind. These belong to fortune. To tie your happiness to what you cannot control is to voluntarily enter a prison cell and lock the door from the inside. This poison of clinging is most toxic in our relationships. How often do we confuse love with possession? A parent, terrified of the world, creates a cage for their child, calling it protection. They dictate the child's path, their career, their choices, believing they own the child's future. But this is not love, this is fear masquerading as care. The result is suffocation. The child rebels, or worse, their spirit withers. Or consider romantic love. When we cling to a partner, demanding they complete us, demanding they never change, we turn a dynamic dance into a hostage situation. You belong to me is the language of a slaver, not a lover. The tighter the grip, the more the other person instinctively pulls away to breathe. Love is not a chain, that it is the space between two people that allows both to grow. And what of our own growth? Clinging is the enemy of evolution. Imagine a person who was once a star athlete in high school. Decades later, they are still wearing the varsity jacket, still talking about the winning game. They are clinging to a ghost. Because they cannot let go of who they cannot discover who they could become. They reject new challenges because they are terrified of looking like a beginner. They are statues frozen in a past glory, while the river of life rushes past them, leaving them stranded on the shore of irrelevance. Why do we do this? Why do we choose the pain of holding on over the freedom of letting go? Because we are terrified of the void. We believe that if we let go of our definitions, our titles, our grievances, we will cease to exist. We use our attachments as anchors to prove we are real. I am the one who owns this house. I am the one who was wronged by my brother. I am the success. If we drop these narratives, who are we? The silence terrifies us, so we fill our hands with stones. Imagine you are hiking up a steep, mist-covered mountain. You are carrying a massive leather backpack. Inside this pack are heavy, jagged rocks. Each rock has a name inscribed upon it. One rock is my anger. Another is my status. Another is my fear of death. Another is my need for approval. Another is my shame. At the bottom of the mountain, the weight seems manageable. You feel strong. But as the path winds upward, the air gets thinner. The slope gets steeper. The straps dig into your shoulders, cutting off your circulation. Your back screams in agony. You are so focused on the pain of carrying the load that you cannot see the wildflowers blooming in the cracks of the cliff. You cannot feel the cool mist on your face. You cannot see the sun breaking through the clouds. You are exhausted. You collapse. And in that moment of total defeat, a whisper of wisdom arises from the depths of your being. You look at the straps. You realize there is no lock, there is no chain. You simply unbuckle it. You let the bag slide off your shoulders. It hits the ground with a heavy thud. Suddenly, you float. The gravity seems to release its hold on you. Your lungs expand fully for the first time in years. You stand up, and you are light. You are aerodynamic. You realize you did need those rocks to climb the mountain. In fact, they were the only thing keeping you from the summit. This is the sensation of non-attachment. It is not an emotional numbness. It is not indifference. It is the sudden, shocking realization that you do not need to carry the weight of the world to be part of it. Jean-Paul Sartre, the existentialist, observed that we build our identity through objects. I my books, I my clothes. But this creates a fragile self, a glass self. If the objects break, the self breaks. Buddhism offers a radical surgery for this condition, the doctrine of anatta, or non-self. It suggests that the self you are so busy defending is not a fortress, but a flowing river. You are not a noun, you are a verb. You are a process, ever changing, ever moving. You cannot own a river. You can only drink from it, swim in it, and let it flow. There is a story of a wealthy merchant who came to the Buddha, his eyes rimmed with dark circles, his hands shaking. "Master," he said, "I have gold, I have lands, I have ships at sea, but I cannot sleep. I lie awake terrified of thieves, of storms, of market crashes. I am a slave to my own fortune." The Buddha looked at him with infinite compassion and said, "Then give away what you cannot keep." The merchant gasped, "You mean I must become a beggar? I must give away my gold?" The Buddha smiled gently. "No, that would just be another form of clinging to poverty. I am not asking you to empty your warehouse. I am asking you to empty your mind. The gold is in your vaults, but the of the gold is in your heart. Evict the ownership from your soul. Walk through your palace as if you were a guest. Manage your ships as if they belong to the universe. When the ownership dissolves, the fear dissolves. This is the secret. You can have the job, the relationship, the house, but you hold them like water in cupped hands, not like a bird in a cage. If the water flows out, you are not shattered. You are ready to receive the next rain. This kind of letting go deepens our connections. When you stop trying to possess your partner, you actually start to them. You see them as a mysterious, sovereign being unfolding next to you. You love them for who they are, not for how well they serve your needs. This is the only love that lasts, love without the hook. Even our mental anguish is a form of clinging. Anxiety is simply the mind clinging to a future that hasn't happened yet. We write horror movies in our heads and then suffer as if they were real. Depression is often the mind clinging to a past that is dead. We live in a cemetery of memories, polishing the gravestones of our regrets. To let go is to return to the only time that actually exists, the now. Look at nature. It is the ultimate teacher of release. Does the oak tree cling to its leaves when winter comes? Does it scream at the wind, "These are mine! I worked all spring to grow these"? No, it releases them effortlessly. It trusts the cycle. It knows that to survive the winter, it must let go of the summer. It stands bare and vulnerable against the cold sky, trusting that spring will return. Does the bird carry a suitcase? It travels across continents, guided by instinct, trusting the wind. It builds a nest with meticulous care, but when the chicks have flown, it leaves the nest behind without a backward glance. It does not mourn the twigs. It flies. This lightness is our birthright. We have just forgotten how to fly because we are too busy packing our bags. So, how do we practice this? How do we translate this high philosophy into the messy reality of traffic jams, bills, and arguments? The wisdom traditions give us a tool, a sword to cut through the vines of attachment. It is the contemplation of impermanence. It is the practice of seeing the end in the beginning. When you buy a beautiful glass cup, hold it and tell yourself, in the grand scheme of time, This cup is already broken. Enjoy it, drink from it, admire the light dancing on its rim. But when it inevitably falls and shatters, you will not be devastated. You will say, yes. The inevitable has happened. It has returned to its nature. There is a powerful mantra you can use, a secret weapon for the mind. For the next 24 hours, try this experiment. Whatever you touch, whatever you feel, whisper internally, "This does not belong to me." When you pick up your smartphone, the portal to your digital ego, say, "This does not belong to me." It is a tool of glass and lightning, borrowed for a moment. When you look at your house, this does not belong to me. It is a shelter of wood and stone, standing on earth that was here before me and will be here after me. When a surge of anger rises in your chest because someone cut you off in traffic, observe the heat, the tightness, and say, "This anger does not belong to me." It is just a weather pattern passing through the sky of my mind. I do not have to claim it. When you look in the mirror and see a new wrinkle, say, "This face does not belong to me." It is a mask changing with the seasons. At first, this practice feels terrifying. It feels like you are losing your grip on reality. But if you persist, a strange alchemy occurs. The terror transforms into spaciousness. The heavy backpack drops. You begin to walk through the world with the curiosity of a traveler rather than the anxiety of a property manager. You enjoy the sunlight more because you don't try to bottle it. You love people more deeply because you know their time with you is finite. You become the sky, allowing the clouds to pass without becoming the storm. In the end, death will come as the final master to force us to let go. It will pry our fingers open one by one. But the wise do not wait for death. The wise practice little deaths every day. They let go of the need to be right. They let go of the grudge. They let go of the illusion of control. And in that letting go, they find something that can never be taken away. They find a sanctuary that fire cannot burn, that thieves cannot steal, and that time cannot erode. They find the vast, indestructible peace of the unburdened heart. Open your hand, look at it, relax the fingers, let the tension drain away. Nothing belongs to you, and because nothing belongs to you, you are free to belong to everything. You are free to be one with the flow of the universe, dancing lightly, hands open, ready to catch the wind.